So, the Cleveland Browns actually did it. They pulled the trigger. Gave a fifth-round rookie the kind of early-season bump that NFL politics usually bury under a mountain of red tape and veteran ego. And fans, media, quarterbacks clinging to their jobs like Titanic survivors on driftwood, they're freaking out. Because Shedeur Sanders, the same guy everyone labeled Deion's kid and laughed off as a flashy headline, just leapfrogged his way into the most dramatic quarterback situation in the NFL. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. And it wasn't subtle. It wasn't quiet. It was a shock promotion so loud it made quarterbacks across the league check their depth chart status like, wait, they're starting the rookie? Let's get into it. And oh, we have feelings. How do we get here? All right, let's rewind. It's June. Cleveland. Training camp. The quarterback room is more crowded than a Delta boarding line during holiday season. You got Deshaun Watson broken, bruised, and still making more per snap than your house is worth. Joe Flacco, the comeback player of the year at age 39, somehow still slinging it with dad's strength and a limp. Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh's one-time savior turned bargain bin trade target. Dylan Gabriel, a rookie project with speed but zero buzz. And then Shedeur, fifth-round pick, Colorado standout, NFL Twitter darling. College fans swore he was better than half the league already, and scouts swore he was overrated and cocky. And yet, in just a few short weeks, he went from camp body to potential franchise changer. Because here's what no one expected. Shedeur didn't just show up, he dominated. A 77.4% completion rate, 9 touchdowns to 1 pick, command of the offense like he'd been in the league for years, poise in the pocket, laser focus, and most importantly, he didn't blink, not once. Meanwhile, Pickett was tripping over his own playbook. Flacco looked like he needed an afternoon nap halfway through drills. And Watson? Ghosting. Fans started murmuring. Media started sniffing. And then, boom, Stefanski, the king of bland coach speak, actually praised Shedeur by name. For Cleveland, that's the equivalent of fireworks over Lake Erie. The meltdown begins. Now picture it. A Browns practice ends. Reporters swarm Twitter, X, with this headline. Shedeur Sanders taking majority of first-team reps, Flacco and Pickett rotating behind. Cue chaos. The internet melts. Cleveland fans start designing custom Shedeur jerseys in panic mode. Kenny Pickett stands open a support group, and NFL Reddit explodes with threads titled, "Are the Browns actually competent now?" It's a beautiful disaster. Because here's the thing, the NFL doesn't do this. They don't just promote fifth-round rookies, especially not over guys like Flacco with rings or Pickett with first-round baggage. The league is built on hierarchy, on order, on earning it. But the Browns? They said forget the rules. This move screamed, we saw enough, the kid's ready. And that terrified people. Because if Shedeur Sanders can break the mold, what's stopping other teams from doing the same? What's stopping rookies from demanding starts based on performance instead of draft status? It's a crack in the system, a threat to the status quo. And the league felt it. Let's talk about the why behind the panic. This isn't just about Shedeur being good. It's about what he represents. He's the son of prime-time Deion Sanders, which means attention follows him like paparazzi to a rehab center. Teams hate that. They want control. They want discipline. And here comes Shedeur, smart, confident, camera-ready, with a game to back it up. That's terrifying for old-school GMs. Because if this kid succeeds, if he walks into an NFL huddle and wins, it challenges everything. Suddenly, draft position means less. Media savvy means more. Rookies will start showing up expecting a shot, and coaches can't hide behind a wait-your-turn excuse. And then there's the Browns. The Browns, the NFL's favorite sad meme. The team that once benched Baker Mayfield for Case Keenum. The team that passed on Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. That team might have just accidentally pioneered a whole new quarterback strategy. Of course people are freaking out. Let's not kid ourselves. The backlash came hard and fast. Old school analysts are calling it premature, saying he hasn't faced real defenses, that he's benefiting from soft camp reps. There are think pieces already comparing this to Johnny Manziel. Yawn. Even inside the building, you know there's tension. Joe Flacco didn't unretire to be a cheerleader. Kenny Pickett didn't sign on to be QB for behind a rookie and a clipboard. And Deshaun Watson's agent? Probably on the phone with lawyers as we speak. This promotion didn't just shock fans. It fractured egos. But Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry, they're standing on it. Because what Shedeur has shown can't be faked. You either have it or you don't. And right now, he has it in spades. Let's be clear, this isn't over. Preseason games are coming. Real snaps. Real pressure. And if Shedeur balls out in those two, this promotion becomes a full-blown takeover. And if he falters, if he throws a couple picks and looks like a rookie, well, then Cleveland can always pivot back to Flacco, or pretend this was just a developmental test. But the message has already been sent. The Browns are no longer protecting feelings, no longer babying veterans. They're building around whoever performs, even if he's 21 years old and still figuring out where the best wings in Cleveland are. And for a team haunted by quarterback ghosts, that's the boldest, most un-Browns move they've ever made. So yeah, people are freaking out. Quarterback lovers, haters, analysts, armchair scouts. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. The NFL has a script. And Shedeur just walked in, flipped it, and said, "Nah, I'm rewriting this." It's not just a promotion. It's a statement. The Browns are done waiting. And Shedeur Sanders? He's ready. So buckle up, because if this experiment works, Cleveland won't just have a new QB. They'll have a new identity. Let's talk legacy. Or more specifically, the lack of it. Cleveland has been where quarterback careers go to die. You know this. I know this. Every Browns fan still rocking a Tim Couch jersey definitely knows this. The moment a QB walks into Berea, it's like entering an escape room designed by Satan. We're talking about the place that drafted Brandon Whedon at 28, the team that tanked with Johnny Manziel and still pretended everything was cool even as he was disappearing into Vegas under fake names. The team that passed on a Super Bowl MVP for a guy named Deshaun. Now fast forward to 2025. You got a fifth-round rookie walking into that same haunted building with a swagger, a stat sheet, and a laser for an arm. And somehow, he doesn't look cursed. He looks comfortable. He looks in control. And just like that, the whole QB graveyard vibe, gone. Vaporized. It's not a graveyard anymore. It's a movie reboot and Shedeur's the lead. Someone cue the retro synth music, because this ain't your dad's Browns anymore. Make no mistake, the league hates this. The NFL loves structure. They love hierarchy. First-rounders are supposed to get 3 years of leash, even if they throw more picks than touchdowns. Veteran QBs get to mentor their replacements into oblivion. Late-round picks? They're supposed to play scout team, maybe win a preseason game or two, and then quietly fade into a clipboard career. But Shedeur Sanders? He didn't read the memo, and now he's messing up the formula. Why do you think insiders are spinning this as too soon or reckless? Because this kind of chaos isn't supposed to happen in June. Fifth-round QBs aren't supposed to get promoted before preseason. Rookie QBs aren't supposed to get first-team reps unless there's a fire in the facility and 3 veterans are hospitalized. But Shedeur is doing it, and doing it so well that the excuses don't work anymore. The NFL loves a good comeback story, but they love control even more. And this kid, he's blowing up the narrative, and the league is sweating. All right, let's get personal for a second. Can we talk about Kenny Pickett? This man went from being Pittsburgh's chosen one to watching a rookie eat his lunch. And the worst part? It's not even personal. Shedeur didn't come for him. He just did his job better. But imagine being Pickett right now. You're 26. You were a first-round pick. You've already got a team that gave up on you. And now the Browns, who just acquired you, might toss you out before week 1 like expired milk. He's showing up to work, getting fewer reps than a guy who still can't legally rent a car in most states. That's not just demoralizing, that's existential. Same with Flacco. Dude literally saved the Browns season last year, played out of his mind, earned awards, got cheered at age 39 like some football Gandalf. And now, he's clapping from the sideline while a rookie takes first-team snaps. This is what makes the Shedeur situation so volatile. It's not just about performance. It's about feelings, pride, identity, and a whole locker room that now has to pick a side, consciously or not. You think offensive linemen don't notice who's under center? You think wide receivers don't start building chemistry with whoever throws them the ball best? Oh, it's messy. And it's only going to get messier. Let's not pretend we don't see the shadow looming over all of this. Shedeur Sanders, Coach Prime, the man who has never played it safe, the man who built a media empire while rebuilding Colorado football. And now, his son is one promotion away from being the NFL's most-watched rookie. Shedeur isn't doing interviews yet, but you know he's watching, plotting, ready to ride that victory lap the second Shedeur starts on Sundays. And let me tell you, if the Browns give Shedeur the job and he wins, Prime is going to turn the NFL into his next documentary series. And the league? They're not ready for that. Because this isn't just a quarterback playing well. This is a whole cultural movement taking shape. Confidence, visibility, personality, swagger. The stuff the NFL says it wants, until it actually shows up in a locker room. If Shedeur succeeds, the walls start crumbling. And somewhere in Boulder, Shedeur is grinning like the plot just went exactly how he wrote it. Here's the part that's low-key terrifying. There's no walking this back. The Browns can't demote Shedeur now, not without igniting a firestorm. You give a rookie this kind of exposure, this kind of access, first-team reps, public praise, national attention, and then try to hide him behind Flacco come week one, you've lost the fans. You've lost the media. And possibly the locker room. This is a one-way door. Either he steps through and becomes a new face of the franchise, or you slam it shut and pretend this never happened, and pray he doesn't torch you later as a starter for some other team. There is no safe option anymore. The Browns have made their bed. Now they just have to decide. Are they brave enough to lie in it? Let's get dark for a second. Picture this. The Browns cut Shedeur, or stash him at QB3. Try to play it safe. Flacco gets the nod. Pickett stays as backup. Watson comes back mid-season, underperforms, and then re-injures himself. Meanwhile, Shedeur is gone, snatched up by a QB-hungry team like Atlanta or Vegas. He gets a start by week 6. He lights it up. Fans go wild. He's suddenly on every ESPN highlight, every podcast, every TikTok feed. And Cleveland? Left behind. Again. You think this city can survive another Mahomes type? We could have had him trauma? They're still grieving over the last one. That's why this isn't just about today. It's about what happens if they choose wrong. Again, Cleveland, this is it. You've tried everything. Splashy trades, broken veterans, rookie experiments that ended in rehab and rehab stints that ended in tears. You've suffered enough to write a Greek tragedy. And now, you finally have a chance. A clean slate. A rookie with actual talent. A guy who hasn't been broken yet. A guy who could finally shatter the curse. But curses only break if you're brave enough to stop following the rules. So the question is, are you going to bet on history? Or are you going to bet on Shedeur? Let's cut through the football talk for a second. This isn't just a quarterback saga. It's a marketing revolution waiting to explode. Shedeur Sanders is already a brand. Nil deals, custom watches, tens of millions of followers by proxy. He's not just stepping into the NFL. He's bringing a whole generation with him. This is Gen Z's quarterback. Camera-ready, brand-aware, and fully fluent in the language of clout. Now imagine that guy takes the field in a Browns uniform. Imagine the memes, the merch, the media coverage. Suddenly, Cleveland, long considered one of the NFL's least marketable teams, becomes a content goldmine. You want jersey sales? You want primetime games? You want TikToks, documentaries, off-season features on ESPN? That starts the second Shedeur is QB1. And you know who else knows that? Ownership. Jimmy Haslam may be chaos incarnate, but even he understands dollar signs. If Shedeur performs, he's not just the best option on the field. He's a financial weapon. Ignore the branding power. And Cleveland misses a once-in-a-decade opportunity to redefine how the world sees this franchise. The camera doesn't lie. You watch footage from Brown's camp, and you can see it happening. Receivers running crisper routes for Shedeur. O-linemen giving that extra second protection. Coaches spending more time chatting with him off to the side. Teammates are choosing. They're not saying it out loud, but they're saying it with their body language, their reactions, the energy when a pass hits in stride and a drive ends in 6. Because when a quarterback starts performing, everyone else gets better too. Suddenly, the offense looks smoother. The playbook looks easier. The team feels like it has an identity again. And the longer Shedeur keeps earning that trust with every rep, the harder it becomes to reverse course. Coaches can ignore fan pressure. They can ignore media noise. But they cannot ignore a locker room shift. And right now, the locker room is moving. Quietly, yes, but inevitably. Cleveland thinks this is a quarterback debate. But the moment Shedeur is named starter, if he's named starter, this thing goes national. We're talking Good Morning Football, ESPN First Take, FS1, NFL Network, even late-night comedy bits. Why? Because this is the perfect storm. A rookie with swagger. A famous dad who will speak on camera. A cursed franchise clawing its way out of irrelevance. And a quarterback room so crowded it looks like a reality show cast. This is the kind of story that sells itself. And with every passing day that Shedeur dominates reps or wins praise, the media engine starts warming up. You thought the Johnny Football circus was wild? That was before TikTok, before 24/7 streaming, before every backup quarterback had a podcast. Shedeur's ascension will be the story of the preseason. Full stop. And Cleveland better get their narrative straight before the national media writes one for them. Let's talk about the dirty little secret of the NFL. There's an unwritten rule that rookies wait their turn. They learn behind a vet. They absorb the system. Translation, they get benched, especially if they weren't taken in the first or second round. But Shedeur, he's blowing that up. And not just by playing well, but by having the audacity to expect better, to want the starting job, to believe, truly believe, that he's earned it. That rattles people. The NFL is built on hierarchy, and Shedeur is walking like the freshman who thinks he can hang with the seniors. But here's the kicker. He can. And that kind of belief isn't arrogance. It's clarity. It's the mindset of someone who's seen the pressure up close, lived in his dad's shadow, and decided not to shrink from it, but lean into it. There's power in that. There's danger in that. And there's no blueprint for how a team handles it when a rookie ignores the rules and wins anyway. Let's end with a reality check. NFL fans today are not the same as they were 10 years ago. They're smarter, faster, more connected. They watch film. They track camp stats. They know when a coach is bluffing and when a QB battle is a sham. And right now, Cleveland fans see what's happening. They know Shedeur is not just flashing. He's balling. They've seen the clips. They've seen the throws. They've heard the whispers. This fan base is ready for a new era. They're not interested in slow burns or false hope. They want bold moves, real decisions, and a quarterback who doesn't flinch in the spotlight. The old school sit-and-wait model? Dead. Fans want to see the future. Now. And Shedeur Sanders is the future. The only question left is whether Cleveland is smart enough, brave enough, and desperate enough to finally bet on it.